Howdy, I'm Nick from Fouch-o-matic Off-Grid. We are off to our permaculture design course at Wheaton Labs out here in great Big Sky Country, Montana. And we're on day one. So here we are. I'm going to let you know what I know having sat in class. So there's a lot of folks here who have quite a bit of experience in permaculture and permaculture design and practice. This guy has essentially zero experience in it. I have not read the design handbook by Bill Mollison. I have not read a whole lot about it. I haven't watched a whole lot of videos about it, but I do know that it's the right way to go for us.
How was it? How was your day?
Day one was awesome. We spent most of the day talking about what permaculture is and why in the heck we need it. It was good to hear other people sort of come to it with some of the same ideas that I had, and I guess just the reasons why I'm here be reinforced. But I'm liking it. I like hearing people talk about this stuff because it's important to me. Permaculture can be a lot of things. It hasn't been around that long, I guess since the mid-70s or so.
So where did permaculture come from?
Some people got together and sort of invented this field of study. But in the end, what the practice of permaculture is being and I really like that he said this, ecosystem engineer, which I really I can attach to that.
So we've got an ecosystem, and we've built one, and we've designed it. So fundamentally, at the basis of everything we do, we're ecosystem engineers.
So why do we need it?
Why do we need permaculture? I'm not talking, I'm asking you.
Because our system in the world of providing for ourselves the things that we need, like food and shelter, and I guess all of the stuff around us, is by design not sustainable. It's a growth model. It has to get bigger and bigger and bigger in order for it to even survive.
It's not if it will stop or when we want it to stop. It will stop. And it's about, saying, okay, we understand that, so now let's look for solutions. And of course, the solutions, we already have all the solutions that we need. It's just that we have to start enacting them.
I was glad to hear other people say that growth model is no way to make it to move forward. And we have to look for other ways to provide for ourselves soon, like now. Why not now? So that's why we need it, because the road that we're on goes like this. So that's why I'm here. So I'll be glad when we move on from sort of the general what it is and why we need it to sort of the nuts and bolts. And there's no one way, and there's no way to get all of that in just a couple of weeks. But I just need a foundation to start out. So after lunch we came back, and it was still pretty general, still kind of overview, not real nuts and bolts, but we did start talking about the first thing to do is to observe. So rather than making assumptions about any place or any landscape, even if you live there, even if you've lived there all your life, the first thing to do before you start designing is to observe. So we got the opportunity to walk out into the woods and just sit and look and listen and be quiet for a while. So that sounds kind of hippy-dippy, but it is what you need to do. You can't just roll in and start bulldozing stuff. You got to look around, you got to listen and see how it's already working. In order to be that engineer, you have to have a really firm understanding of all of the elements in play. And what are all of those elements? Hell, it's everything. So I'll be glad when we move on from sort of the general what it is and why we need it to sort of the nuts and bolts. And there's no one way, and there's no way to get all of that in just a couple of weeks, but I just need a foundation to start out. So one cool thing about the way Tim likes to teach a PDC is that he really teaches design. And so he starts with this idea of holistic management and ethics, which a lot of other PDCs, I guess, don't spend a whole lot of time on. They just jump right into design and techniques without giving it a holistic context. So the holistic management and that idea comes from a book named Holistic Management by Alan Savory. I urge you to look it up. I know when I get home I'm gonna get it. I might even read it, and I'm not a big reader, but it is the idea that you have to look at systems from a holistic point of view. You can't just look at pieces and parts. Nothing in the system can change without changing the entire system. So it's just sort of a reinforcement of that everything's interconnected, and we can't just sort of tweak around the edges, or we can't just isolate a system. It's the whole thing. The other cool idea that I really that I liked was along the lines of there's no one way to do permaculture. You have to set everything within a holistic context, and that's personal to each person. So the way Tim taught it was as if you're interviewing a client who you're going to design for. In a lot of the cases of the people here, we're designing for ourselves, but you have to go through a list of questions, and it really is questions about yourself, what your habits and routines already are, and just sort of your personality and what you think you're capable of, both in time and skills, but also what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve with permaculture, and why you think that's the route for you. And honestly, I have not answered all of those questions for myself before I came here. So there's a lot of good exercises that they've walked us through to really ask all of the hard questions, because it's a design process, it's an engineering process where you need all of these data points and all of these goals to be able to come up with a cohesive design.
And are you feeling like this might resolve some of the feeling of randomness, or like what that's like to be a homesteader? So when we go back and we try and think about this at our place, it's not just go home and make all the changes. We have to go home and ask all the questions. So how are you feeling about permaculture in general?
You know, I think that permaculture is it's a great approach. I like that it's a holistic approach and it's not dogmatic. It's not one way. It's a method of figuring it out. It's not just a prescription for a problem.
I want a retake on that.
What did I learn? Well, today was the first day, so it was an interesting day. I thought I didn't really know what to expect. I learned a lot of fundamental things that maybe I was missing previously, as I had done my research and my reading, and this was like a good bit of padding to that base layer. So maybe I didn't break through on anything, but I think the padding of the foundation is going to be good. That was great.
We met some folks who watch our YouTube channel, which was really special. Also kind of tired me out. Believe it or not, as much as I am energetic on my videos, I am an introvert, and spending a lot of time with people wears me out. So I'm off to bed so I can do it all over again tomorrow.
I'm Nick from Fouch-o-matic Off Grid. Thanks for watching. Come back tomorrow and we'll show you more of our PDC.
The girls got a shower at the compost heated shower. We'll have to give you a tour of that.
See this pump the water goes through? The compost gets hot, so the water gets hot.
Wow. You think that's permaculture?
Yeah. Good night, Tubby.